LATROBE, Pennsylvania. Like old times, Russell Wilson was bubbly, upbeat, and flowing with positivity after a recent Pittsburgh Steelers training camp practice. Due to extra demands, autographs, pictures, interviews, small talk, he was the last man off the practice field. And Wilson, 35, loved every minute of it. "It's just vibrant, man," Wilson told USA Today Sports, describing his personal outlook as much as the atmosphere fueled by rabid fans who descended on quaint Saint Vincent College, where the team has held summer camp for 56 of the past 58 years. No doubt, after 2 stormy seasons with the Denver Broncos, this energized 13th-year veteran needed to land someplace like this as he tries to revive a once stellar career, on a team desperate for a quarterback upgrade and for a coach with whom he can connect. You'd think he's carrying some fire, too, eager to prove that coach Sean Payton and the Broncos, eating $85 million over 2 years in guaranteed money due to Wilson's release, made a big mistake in kicking him to the curb. If that's part of the incentive, though, he's not speaking it. Typical Wilson. NFL Stats Central, the latest NFL scores, schedules, odds, stats, and more. "You go through some things," he said. "The motivation should never change. The motivation is always to be the best, to be successful." The big takeaway from the Denver drama? "I've learned how not to blink in the midst of the storm," Wilson said. "Besides," he added, "I get to start all over again in a new place, new environment." Wilson, who during his heyday with the Seattle Seahawks had a Harry Houdini trait for slipping out of danger and keeping plays alive, still has that knack when it comes to his messaging. The fresh start, though, has come with a box of new challenges. First off, the starting job must be officially earned, especially given the presence of a viable alternative in Justin Fields, the 4th-year pro obtained in a trade with the Chicago Bears a day after Wilson signed as a free agent. Although Mike Tomlin has maintained since March that Wilson, who led the Seahawks to 2 Super Bowls, winning 1, is in the pole position, the competition has legs. "I'd be doing them and this team a disservice if I wasn't open to competition," Tomlin told USA Today Sports. Now, you pay respect to, obviously, Russell's extended resume. And I've done that. That's what I mean when I say his pole position. Certainly, there's competition. But very rarely, realistically speaking, is competition 50-50. Especially if you're counting practice representatives. Since the start of camp, the script has been altered by an apparently minor calf injury Wilson sustained while pushing a sled during the conditioning test. While Wilson quickly returned to practice, he's been limited in running the system installed by new coordinator Arthur Smith. That's allowed Fields to work extensively and impressively with the starters. And it has ignited a narrative that Fields is closing the gap. "What's really important," coach says, "we've got 17 games to go in the regular season," Wilson said, alluding to the pace of his workflow. "And I said, hopefully, plus 4 more." Tomlin has his reasons for having a cautious approach. "I'm getting to know him," he said. "I don't want a small problem to become a big problem. I definitely don't want to take any steps backward as we push forward toward the season." After the issues that confronted his offense last season, starting quarterback Kenny Pickett was injured, benched, and ultimately traded. Offensive coordinator Matt Canada was fired at midseason. Tomlin's concern is reasonable. Wilson, meanwhile, certainly sounds like he's preparing to be the starter. He passed for 26 touchdowns with 8 interceptions, with a 98.0 efficiency rating, yet was benched for Denver's final 2 games. He acknowledged the competition with Fields, but in a generic sense. "You're trying to be the best version of you every day," he said. "That's all I'm seeking every day. I know if I do that, our football team is going to be better." Asked if he would be shocked if he was not the Week 1 starter, Wilson shuffled into cliché speak. "I'm not focused on tomorrow or down the road," he said. "Just let your play speak for itself. Just go focus on what you can control, and that's today." Still, it's natural to anticipate the Steelers matchup for Week 2, when Wilson is slated to return to Denver. Typically, Wilson wouldn't bite on any revenge theme. "I think more importantly, we're focusing on this training camp," Wilson said. "You can't get to Week 2 until you get through training camp. I mean that. You know me. I just want to focus on the now. I'm not ahead on anything. I just want to be in the moment where my feet are." Get better today. Watch the film. See where we can get better as a team. That will get us ready for week 1, and then we'll go from there.